Alright folks, what I did offline is I cut that head into that reference point that you see there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the other side the same way. What it consists of is just stop cuts. Okay, so we're going to have a line here from the hat down and from here down. You can straighten that up a little bit later with your knife, and across the bottom. Okay, so I usually lay it on a table, especially if the wood's a little hard, and just use a rocking motion on the ends a little bit, works pretty good. And then you take the tip of your knife and just cut it out. Okay, just like so. So that's what you need to do all the way up with this. Is to, and remember, turn it around. It's a little safer, that way you don't slip off the end of your carving. Make sure your glove is on and all that good stuff, and your thumb guard. If you don't have one, get one. I take a lot of small chips out. I don't take big chunks out, but even so, you can still cut yourself if you're not careful. If you're in a rush, or different things can contribute to it. It's a little better. So we're going to go this way for a little bit. Let me switch knives here. And then we're going to go down. A little heavier blade sometimes works better to cut things out. And let me see if we can slide that right up in there. Alright, so that's I'm going to let you finish that up. And you're going to try to get the same depth on the top of the hat as on the bottom. Okay, so I need to work on this as well. And so we're going to go up to about this point that we have a reference point at the top. Alright, and so now after you do that, you want to round off the shoulders a little bit. Just like this, like you see me doing here. Alright, so when we come back, the shoulders are going to be rounded, the head's going to be all the way down to the point where we need it to be, and the top of the hat, let me show you that as well. It's the same thing. It's just a reference point. You're gonna go from this side with a stop cut. You can take your knife and tilt it this way to prevent yourself from slipping off, or turn it around and then go from the other side. And then you're just gonna chip that out. You can use the tip of the knife first to get that first layer off. Sometimes that's a little easier than alright, so that's all we're going to do here, folks. We're just going to keep chopping away at the hat and the head here. I always feel if the head doesn't work out right, I don't bother with the rest of the carving, but I also realize that sometimes you need to do something more than just the head. You have to put it in proportion to what the body is. So this is going to be a kind of little short, stubby little guy. He's not going to be real big. He's only about, well, let me get a measuring tape so you guys know. He's a little over 3 inches long, and not quite an inch, maybe at the widest part, about 1.25 inches. Okay, so I will have a pattern for this guy available. I just need to write it up. I'm getting ahead of myself sometimes with wanting to do projects than doing all the paperwork. I actually hate paperwork anyway. With tax time, I just absolutely cannot stand it. But I guess nobody enjoys doing tax time, but it's the paperwork I can't handle. I just don't like it. And if you're in your own business, it's even worse. So, but anyhow, I'm not complaining, folks. We're lucky to live in this country. If you're in the U.S., that eagle pin was a great joy to do. I'm very patriotic about my country, and anybody should be of whatever country you're from. If you're from Canada or from Europe or wherever you're watching this from, there's nothing wrong with being proud of your country. and your heritage and everything else that comes along with that. My parents immigrated here in 1960, so I was born here. All my rest of my family was either born in Holland or in Canada. I was the only lucky one to be born here, I guess. I maybe shouldn't have said that, but both countries, you know, Holland and Canada, I have a great respect for my heritage, what my parents brought along with them. So, but you know, and I'm proud to be Dutch too, Holland Dutch, so it's a good thing. But anyhow, folks, this is what we're working on. Just keep chipping away at this, and you know, once you get down to the body here, you're going to round off the shoulders, and we'll be back.